Hey everyone, James Reeves, tfbtv, here with my close personal friend, Brian Marshall of Steyr USA and of the Steyr Academy. This guy knows more about the AUG or AUG than anyone else that I know. We've got something that's pretty exciting here today, and let me preface this by saying that I'm really encouraged to see the progress that Steyr USA has been making, because there's been all this neat stuff that we've seen in Europe and even frickin' Australia. You know, like Australia gets like the cool stuff before we do when it comes to the AUG. You guys have been moving at like 1,000,000 miles an hour in 2023 and into 2024 with all kinds of new guns, new accessories. I mean, we've got the machine gun barrel that was kind of like one of the first big things to come in. Now we can get the heavy barrel with the bipod 24-inch barrel. We've got the 300 blackout, which we just talked about. That's coming soon. There might be a few other things that we're going to discuss, but right now in front of us, and I don't even know when we're going to be able to air this video, hopefully soon, but we have kind of an unnamed, I'm calling it just for fun, I'm calling it the AUG A3 M2. We'll just call it,
the JR Mark II.
Yeah, the JR, oh my God, yeah, I'd love that. But I mean, this is essentially, you guys have the A3 M1, which is the US kind of civilian version of the gun that we can get. That's wonderful, that I've had for years, that I absolutely love. Just again, for purposes of this video, I don't know what you guys are going to end up calling it. You don't know what you're going to end up calling it. We'll call it the M2 today. Something much different, but also much the same. Walk me through everything, Brian.
Well, like you said, Steyr in 2023 is different from how it's ever been, and we're pushing, and the Austrian end of the company's listening. We're getting some of the ideas finally brought to market in America. One of the things that we've heard requests from, they were requesting this in Europe, they're requesting it here in the US, is I want to be able to reach forward on an AUG and C-clamp my grip like my AR. I want to be way out there with my arms extended. Now, from the training that we've done at Steyr Academy, that the balance of a bullpup, and especially AUG, is different. So being able to hold it back close to the receiver is okay. But for some shooters, that is a very big part of their nomenclature and their training, and they want to be able to get out there and run this gun with hands forward. But anybody who's spent a little bit of time around the AUG knows that it's a fire-breathing dragon with the gas piston, and putting your fingers over that is not a good idea. What we've come up with at Steyr is a rail system and a cover that is set up so that those folks that either don't want to run the vertical grip, now you can run the vertical grip if you want to, but if you want to run your AUG with that longer extended grip and get those fingers closer to where the gas piston would be popping, you're no longer subject to that volcanic explosion of heat and gas.
Sure. Okay, through cinema magic, this has appeared in my hands.
Magical.
This is my AUG. Love this thing. I've had it for years now. It's been on tfbtv many a time, including with you, Brian. So we can kind of hold them up and see the real difference here. I've got a few accessories on mine, but you can see an unshrouded barrel, right? If I want to mount a light, right now I'm committed kind of to back here in the receiver area. I've already kind of done this with a vertical foregrip by removing the factory vertical foregrip. You've got a lot more real estate here for mounting accessories.
Absolutely.
Optics, lights, IR shit, whatever.
Exactly. And this is still removable. The barrel's still removable, so it's not locked into the system. It's actually pretty easy to go ahead and remove this rail and slide this up on off of here.
There we go. All right, go for it.
All right, so then the barrel's still removable, and this can just slide right back into place. There's a couple of adjustable locking tabs that we can lock this down. So if you've got your light, or if you're running a pack or something up here, you can still pop that rail system off and keep whatever zeros you had beforehand. We're just excited, we're starting to get some more of that modularity. We've got aftermarket folks that are making stuff, we're making stuff, and we're starting to, be able to do the things that the consumers want, or want to be able to change the way they run or handle their AUG.
If I understood you correctly, you're telling me that if I've got something zeroed, like I've got, Ryan, what's some dumb night vision shit, like a D-ball or something, I got that on there, and I've got it zeroed. I pop this son of a bitch off, and I put it back on, and it's going to be zeroed. Free floating rail system, and then you've got this optics rail is actually, I mean, is that monolithic with the receiver on this?
Yes, so it
So
extends.
if I drop like a D-ball or something on there,
Right.
it's going to hold zero no matter what I do with the rail because it's not moving.
Right, if you're popping this handguard on and off, it's not moving that optic. So whatever system you're running up here is not affected. So if you wanted to have a different set of handguards, or if you had something else, a different flashlight system or something that you wanted to be able to hot swap, you could still hot swap this portion of the tube and not affect whatever's mounted to the receiver.
So kind of a tricky thing though, let's say I need to adjust the gas on my my gas plug. That's probably going to be a problem, huh?
Yeah, but compared to the old system that we
Which
used
we
to
have right
this,
here, I can just...
Well, no, not this, but the old CQCs were a whole lot harder to take apart.
Oh, I
we
see.
had a version of this that was exposed, but as far as taking barrels and stuff off, it was a little bit more of a complex process. This is a lot easier process for removing this to access. So then you would just have to pop the tabs on the side, remove that, and you could then access the gas piston.
Right, so not really going to be on the fly, so that's one advantage, I guess, of
Sure.
the original M1, but then again, we don't get all this real estate right here.
Right.
Now, the question, of course, let's start from back to front with what I call the lower receiver. I mean, is that a fair thing to call it? What do you guys call the
It's stock
polymer
group.
portion? Yeah, so the stock group, is there anything different between mine and this one?
Well, the one that you're holding, that you're running NATO's, this is a waffle gun.
Other than that?
Other than that, no. I
Okay,
mean,
right.
We've
So-
got the bolt release on the waffles, and yours has got a modified release, so you've got that now. But most of the NATO guns are still running without.
So no matter what I have in terms of my stock group, I'll be able to pop this receiver on,
Sure.
and that's no problem.
Yeah.
Now the receiver is different.
Yeah, so it's back to the A3 design. The A3 M1s keep more of the traditional cut for the optics and the traditional AUG look with the QD socket at the front. The A3s that we ran a couple years ago were more set up to be this type of receiver, so that you could run rails a whole lot longer and so on out the front. Now, the aftermarket folks out there, Arid and so on, are working on mods for the M1 that's going to be able to accomplish things that are just like this for the M1 receiver groups. But we'll probably at some point be bringing an A3 style receiver back to the market, so that this you hear this a lot from folks. That is the complaint about the M1 is, well, what if I want to run longer systems? I don't care about the skinny scope or the traditional look. I want to do LVPO, and I want to run more real estate for rails and M-lock and so on, and this is going to help you get there.
Right, sure. But I guess the catch is, if I've got an M1 receiver, I'm not going to be able to pop the M2 rail system onto here. There's just
Not
no way
our
to do
rail
it.
system, but like I said, there's a bunch
There's
of
going to be
great
aftermarket, but if I
guys that are
want
making
this,
stuff.
I want the
No.
Steyr, I want the real
Yeah.
deal
You're gonna have
Holyfield.
you're going to have an original A3 non-M1 receiver, or wait for the next generation receiver.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
very cool. 300 blackout, is that going to be a possibility? I see right now
Sure.
this is a 5.56 gun.
Yeah, this is set up for 5.56, but the cover over the gas system is removable. So we've got a larger removable plate that'll go here for the 300 guns.
Okay, now I know you're going to kill me for this, Brian, but the two most important questions always.
Sure.
Pricing and availability. Do we know when we're going to get this, and do we know what it's going to cost?
Well, for law enforcement, from what I understand, we can import them pretty much right now. For us to be able to produce them domestically and start cranking them out, we've got lots of things on the list.
Yeah,
we're knocking
sure.
out 300s, we're knocking out some calibers, but this is coming. I would say that this is a 2024 project.
Okay, all right, and it is probably going to happen, and I mean, is it going to happen? I guess I just assume that. I mean, maybe it doesn't happen at all.
Well, it's going to happen.
Okay.
It's going to happen. Things are different around Steyr in Alabama now. We've got a lot of motivated folks that are making some cool things happen, and we're going to bring some really great stuff to the market.
And really, the takeaway here: modularity.
Yeah.
However, if I'm a bit of a traditionalist, I like my good old missionary position AUG. I can still pop my old school vertical grip on there, right? Let's see that. Let's have a look at it.
We just set it in there.
Oh, yeah, that might work. Yeah, so there we go. A Malaysian old school surplus vertical foregrip. So if you're one of those guys, you know, you want to return to tradition and you still want to use the vertical foregrip, but you want to have all this M-lock and the new, you know, all this additional runway for your optic, you can do that too. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's really neat. Now, the most important thing, pricing. I imagine this is going to be a little bit more expensive. I know you're not even, I know.
You gotta guess how much.
Yeah, no, I knew that was going to cause a big old dust up in here, but I always have to ask it so you guys don't kill me. Look, Brian, all that's important is that this is on the way. And I'm super stoked, and that it takes the vertical, the OG vertical foregrip. That's also super important. So maybe 2024 we'll see it. I'm pulling for, I think it should be the A3 M2. But, you know, whatever you guys decide to call it, I'm just going to be excited for it to be here.
If we can sell them and get people excited about AUG and bullpups, then whatever, you know, I'm good with it.
Well, I know that everyone out there in TFBTV land is very excited about anything AUG. We're all diehard AUG fans out here.
Diehard, I get it.
And nice, you guys are good. I'm glad you picked that up. So, guys, stay tuned. We're bringing you more because we've got all kinds of new AUG stuff coming from Steyr USA.